Welcome and welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Friday. Huzzah! TGIF. It is July the 31st. It is the last day in July. Good morning. Hope you're having a good morning. If you're watching it now, thank you so much. If you're watching it later, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Let's do a check-in here. Elena says, yesterday was my birthday. That's right. Happy birthday plus one. I just got my free drink and 2 cake pops, and I also had cheese rolls. Ooh, that sounds really good. And Elaine says, yummy Starbucks. Amy says, that sounds like a lovely way to enjoy your birthday, Elena. Indeed. And she says, good morning, PK and everyone else. Well, good morning. Well, because it's Friday, and we can also say because it was Elena's birthday, I decided our coffee cup this morning looked like a party. I'm usually not a pink person, but this is Happy Friday. So, we are here to look at some more cozy mysteries that were published this week. And there's still a whole lot of them, so we are probably going to have a show tomorrow morning. We'll see how many we get through today. But it is set up to have a show again tomorrow morning, same time. It'll be right after I walk Keo. Because while I do drive-bys, I sometimes feel like that's just not fair. Now, this is one that has caught my attention. I love the cover. I love the cover. It's a historical mystery, first in a new series, the Lark and Everthorn Mysteries. It's called A Murder in Bloomsbury by Magna Alexander. I have not really read this author. I did try one at one point, but it was during my slump, so I don't think it was a fair evaluation. London, 1859. Lady Larkspur Everleigh's Bloomsbury Salon is a haven for radical thinkers, sharp-tongued widows, and the occasional pompous fool brave enough to walk through her door. But after a poet is struck dead on a London street after reading a verse that names the sins of powerful men, Lark knows it was no accident. The Marquis of Everthorn has his own, I say Marquis, some people say Marquis, has his own reasons for wanting the truth. After once banished to the Crimea for a sin he didn't commit, he returned to London carrying the scars of war and the weight of his family's darkest secret. When he discovers that the poet's murder is tied to the Everthorn name, he joins forces with the one woman in London brave enough to hunt down the killer. Together, Lark and the man society calls the Devil of Everthorn set out to untangle a web of institutional cruelty, purchased silence, and a predator walking freely among respectable society. But asking dangerous questions has consequences, and the closer they get to the truth, the more Lark realizes that the people she loves, including the deaf younger sister she has sworn to protect, may be the next to pay the price. It is Kindle Unlimited, so I will give it a shot. Because you know me and historical mysteries. End of that row. Amy says, I love the cover as well. Magna Alexander book. Yes. I've been watching that one for quite a while once I saw that cover. Covers matter. Let's see. The Village Detectives and the Deadly Brew by Fiona Walker, 4th in the Village Detective series. When handsome, former rugby-playing pub landlord Mill asks Juno Mulligan for a favor, she immediately says yes. Although she's initially disappointed that the favor doesn't involve any sort of romantic shenanigans, Juno is reminded that she does love investigating mysteries, and perhaps it is just her destiny to choose crime-fighting over afternoon delighting. It's an interesting case. Mill needs Juno and their fellow village detective Phoebe Fredericks to investigate a targeted campaign against the local witchcraft brewery, now run by his friend Ashley Witch, a former lioness. Rugby. A series of recent near misses and attempts at sabotaging her property are surely no coincidence. Then a body is discovered in the tap room, which quickly proves that they were right to suspect. There's more than just a vendetta brewing. And if they're to prevent another murder, they need to find out whether they've got the bottle to hunt down another killer. Yeah, that brewery, they've got the bottle. Yeah. This cat is watching you. The Case of the Trust Fund Tabby by Emily Karmazin. Sorry, my glasses are filthy. This is first in the Lexi and Zelda Midlife Mysteries. Diagnosis, murder. Prescription, justice. Side effects, one diabetic millionaire cat. Former trauma nurse Lexi Burns traded the ER for the quiet of Atherton, Missouri until her detective ex-boyfriend codes in the ICU under suspicious circumstances. Lexi knows a medical error when she sees one, and this looks like attempted murder. With her aura-reading best friend Zelda at her side, Lexi investigates the hospital staff. Their prime suspect? A jittery nurse who prays over her patients a little too fervently. But the case takes a bizarre turn when a wealthy neighbor dies, leaving his entire fortune to his diabetic cat named Bibi. A lethal conspiracy is uncovered with religious psychosis as the weapon and a trust fund tabby the target. Now Lexi must outsmart a greedy heir and a weaponized nurse before her patients and the cat run out of lives. Now this sounds somewhat intriguing to me, and I'm grateful the cat does not talk. Dodged a bullet there. I probably won't get to... Oh, what do you mean page not found? So this one, Haunts and Hearts, is not available anymore. So we move on. That happens with the Stickleback books. It's like, are they only available for like a day or two? I don't get it. And then it says, thanks, Amy. Murder by the Palms by Lena Clover, first in the Pink Veranda Club Mysteries. Welcome to Palmville, South Florida's most luxurious senior community, where the golf course is pristine, the ocean breeze is warm, and everyone has finally earned the chance to slow down. But paradise comes with a price. When a much-hated resident drops dead during his morning walk, most people accept the final explanation and move on. Official explanation and move on. His golf buddy, a retired dentist from Maine, isn't convinced. Consumed with grief, he gathers a motley crew of seniors to ask questions of their own. What begins as curiosity soon turns into a full-blown search for the truth. Between spring festival preparations, clubhouse gossip, and amateur sleuthing, retirement is about to become much busier than any of them imagined. End of that row. That must be like the uber rich people retirement homes, because my mom's in a very, very nice one, and it's really, really expensive. But can you imagine a retirement home with golf courses and all that? Whew. Corpse in the Crop Circle. I hate it when that happens. By Ellen Jacobson. Yes, I know they're not created by aliens, but can you imagine an alien landing and going, oops, I think we landed on somebody. Ellen Jacobson is the author, fourth in the North Dakota Library Mysteries. When Thea Olson stumbles upon a murder in the middle of a crop circle, all eyes turn skyward. Rumors of UFOs, unexplained lights, and little green men spread through North Dakota faster than prairie wildfire. As suspicion falls on someone Thea knows, she's determined to uncover the truth. With help from her grandmother, library director Hudson Carter, and Edgar, the magical chameleon with a sarcastic streak. It's a talking chameleon. Thea digs into a mystery filled with secrets, suspects, and unexpected twists. Well, we do have Geico. Meanwhile, amateur sleuth Molly McGee is in town to help establish a local chapter of her alien investigation organization. She came to meet with fellow UFO enthusiasts, not to investigate a murder, but she's about to witness one of the strangest cases the town has ever seen. As conspiracy theories swirl and small-town gossip reaches a fever pitch, Thea must separate fact from fiction before the truth disappears without a trace. Can Thea solve the case before the murderer vanishes into thin air, hitches a ride? Or will this mystery remain as puzzling as the crop circle itself? I don't know. Have there ever been any crop circles in North Dakota? Boop. Rigged for Murder by Karen McInerney. 12th in the Gray Whale Inn Mysteries. When innkeeper Natalie Barnes signs on as sous chef aboard the historic schooner Margaret Stout, she expects a week of good food, ocean breezes, and smooth sailing with a group of Texas women. But the voyage gets off to a rocky start when one of the guests dies suddenly on their very first night. The Coast Guard declares the death natural causes, but Natalie isn't convinced. After all, the victim left behind a journal full of questions, and the Margaret Stout has a murky history of its own. As Natalie kneads dough, tends the ship's wood stove, and keeps the hungry passengers fed, she finds herself navigating dangerous waters. Missing medications, mysterious connections between crew and guests, and whispers of a long-buried secret suggest someone aboard is determined to keep the truth below deck. When a second woman falls deathly ill during a lobster bake on a remote Maine island, Natalie realizes this mystery is far from adrift. With a killer hiding in plain sight and no way off the schooner, she'll need all hands on deck to uncover the truth before she's the next one sent to Davy Jones' locker. When, oh when, did we have to have puns in every description? Wow, that's a bright cover. Holy moly, I bet that glows in the dark. Whew. That book says, read me, you cannot ignore me. Senan and Secrets by Cassie Rush, third in the Cornish Cozy Mysteries. When visitors to, Nanjazal Cave begin losing hours of their lives, Emma Wilder knows it isn't age or coincidence. Something in the caves is stealing memories. I hate it when that happens. When her assistant Tally returns disoriented and missing time, the mystery turns personal. Then a man is found dead on the cliffs, his wife standing over him with blood on her hands and no memory of what happened. That's kind of convenient. Emma soon uncovers the truth. Something ancient lives within the cave, feeding on memories and leaving chaos behind. Well, at least they're eating memories. You know, it could be worse. But the deeper she digs, the more dangerous the truth becomes, because some memories are buried for a reason, and bringing them back could cost more than Emma is willing to lose. With her magic, her instincts, and her telepathic Siamese cat, of course, Emma must face whatever waits in the darkness before more lives are erased. Now, I truly have to see what the other covers look like. Yeah, they're all like that. There's book one. And there's book two. Woo! Bright covers. So bright. Ah! We have another page not found. What is going on here, peoples? This was called Rhubarb Revenge, Camping Girl. I wonder if I kind of clicked on that. Nope, it's gone. She's gone. End of that row. The Belgravia Phantom by Ellis Blackwood, first in the Quill and Page Victorian Mysteries. How do you prove you didn't scare Lady Pemberton to death with a phantom? Such is Kate Quill's quandary. The faked seance went horribly wrong, and now Inspector Hartwell of Scotland Yard has her in his sights. Kate's poor, seamstress poor, but what she lacks in the pocket she makes up for in allies. There are her siblings, Daisy the actress, Ned and Vi. There's no way around this. They're petty thieves. There's Mrs. McGinty, their formidable Irish landlady. There are Vi's Whitechapel worthies, Little Till adorable, and the twins, quite odd. And there is Frederick Page, former gentleman's gentleman, chess aficionado, lover of puzzles, and now reluctant partner in an unlikely Victorian detective duo. Please do not refer to him as Freddie, or he'll be grasping for the smelling salts. Can this glorious rabble somehow band together to investigate all those lofty lords and ladies who attended the seance and discover who really murdered Lady Dorothea Pemberton? Oh, this is the same author who did those Samuel Pepys series. That concluded. All right. The Lady and a Bank Robber by Brittany E. Brinegar and J. E. Brinegar. 6. In the Lady Inventor Mysteries. Granbury, Texas, 1925. Lady Anne Worthington, an English countess turned inventor, has finally found her footing in mineral wells. With her loyal best friend Marigold by her side and a satchel full of prototypes, she's traveling the Texas countryside to demonstrate her newest invention, a cutting-edge bank alarm system designed to stop robbers in their tracks. But during a demonstration at the Granbury Bank, the unthinkable happens. A robbery. And before the dust settles, the bank manager lies dead from a gunshot wound. He's not going to buy from you now. The captured robber insists he was sent by the U.S. Marshals. He swears he didn't pull the trigger. With local authorities circling, rumors spread through the town square, and suspicion turns in an even stranger direction toward the visiting lady inventor herself. After all, what better way to sell a bank alarm than staging the perfect crime? Can Lady Anne prove her innocence before the real killer strikes again, or will the lady inventor become the next victim of a deadly scheme? Oh, son of a biscuit. That date slipped. Rabbits, Rabbits, Rodeo, and Murder, a cactus and cowboy cozy mystery with heart. Book 2 in the Saguaro Bookshop Mysteries by Jenna Hendricks. Maisie is about to fall down the rabbit hole with not only the rodeo coming to town, but also the craft fair. Will she have the wherewithal to get out of this next murder charge? Or will she keeps getting charged, sounds like. Or will she choose to eat the cake instead? Go for the cake. Alexander Maple's furniture business has been attracting unmarked vans and hard-looking strangers at odd hours. When Maisie confronts him about relocating so she can expand into a cafe, their argument turns into a public spectacle witnessed by half the town. That night, her security cameras are smashed. A week later, Alexander is carried out in a body bag, killed by one of his own imported statuettes, and every piece of evidence points straight at Maisie. The public fight, the motive, the missing footage. After the rodeo is in full swing, tourists flooding Westcott, and a second death from a fentanyl overdose rattling the community, Maisie starts connecting the dots between Alexander's suspiciously cheap South American imports, a gambling debt, and a cartel distributor working the craft fair. Sheriff Sam Madrid is watching her closely, but not entirely for the reasons she feared. With the help of her adopted French bulldog and the last 3 members of the fearsome foursome, Maisie is going to prove she's not off her rocker. In fact, she's going to show the small town that she can ride with the rodeo clowns and not get bucked by the bull. Rodeo clowns don't ride. Have you been to a rodeo? Just saying. Dead Center by Patty Larson. 23rd in the White Witch Island Paranormal Cozies. When a visiting high school basketball team loses one of their attendees to murder during a game, Georgia is drawn into the case while trying to assist her brother Matthew. There's an agency. Matthew, on the run from Guild Artemis for a crime he says he didn't commit. Can she figure out who killed the visitor before the killer escapes? And can she protect her brother from the fate that awaits him if he's caught and brought back to face the very guild he works for? These are always striking covers. She's a very striking looking character. End of that row. Got time for a couple more. Murder at Milkwort Lakes, 3rd in the Cranshire Mysteries. Layla Vetch, a yoga mentor and equine wellness retreat owner, is loved by everyone in the community around Milkwort Lakes. She rescues abused horses and uses her signature brand of equine herbs to calm them enough to be ridden. So when she drugs them. So when she's found dead by the lakeside surrounded by her horses, no one can believe it was murder, and Leo superiors are at a loss for suspects and motives. Holly and her friend Pippa are enjoying a much-anticipated equine holiday with their horses Lynette and Freya at the retreat when Layla's body was found. At Pippa's request, Holly looks into the strange case and goes to Leo to offer her help. But when her research brings some surprising results, they soon realize this case will shake the local community to its core. It's nice to kind of have a semi-normal one, isn't it? Deadly Sweet by Sonia Perrin. 10th in the Dear Abby Cozy Mysteries. There's a whole generation now who has no idea what that refers to. Dear Abby. Eden's health kick clashes with the annual cake competition. The alpine town of Eden is divided by its commitment to becoming healthier and its passion for their never-ending cake competitions. Abby McGuire, the Eden Rise reporter, is called in to adjudicate. As an outsider, she's expected to remain neutral and provide a fair outcome for everyone, but her sensible decision is met with an uproar. Chaos follows, and when the dust settles, one of the main opposers to Abby's sensible approach is found dead. As the local reporter, Abby's job is to get the facts. It doesn't take long for her to realize the killer got the wrong person and is willing to try again until they get it right. Son of a biscuit. It's another one. Bell's about to ring, so we will stop there. Everybody remember, we're on the Deadly Sweet pink one. We will look at the rest of them tomorrow at our leisure. All right, that is it for today. So for sure, I'm going to check out that Magda Alexander one. And it came out today. I've been watching. It came out today, so we'll see if the writing holds up. All right, well, thank you very much, guys. So it's Friday, so I don't have any sprints tonight. Our next reading sprints are tomorrow afternoon, starting at 3 p.m. Eastern. That one goes for 5 hours. You don't have to read. You can work on a project. You can be cleaning your house and listening to the ambiance, whatever it is. If you want to come hang out, we are there. And then tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., we will look at the rest of these cozies. All right, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Hope you have a good day. Stay cool. It's going to be 100 here again. So stay hydrated. Read books that you like. It's okay to set them down if you are not enjoying it at the time. And as the banner says here, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom nom nom. Have a good day. God bless.